Hey everybody, it's Clay on the trail, back with Cash. I'm up here at the North Slope trailhead. I brought my snowmobile with me, my sled. I'm gonna go up the road about 3 miles to the Stillwater campground, set my hammock up, and see if any of the math I did last week was right. It's about 35 degrees right now. It's got a winter storm watch coming in. It's supposed to be all night long, so I'm expecting some snow, but I don't have any idea what it's going to amount to up here. So let's get down the trail, see if we can find a place to camp. Alright, I made him run the last little while because I needed to have a little more control of my sled. It looks like a moose spent the night here not too long ago. It's good enough for a moose. I suppose it's good enough for me. So I think I'll set up in the trees right here. That is the river right there. Then I brought my snowshoes. After I get set up, I'm going to go for a walk up over this hill. We'll go check out what's up over there. All right, well, I packed all of my stuff in this duffel bag and then wrapped it up in plastic, towed it behind my sled. One thing with winter camping is you're not ultralight anymore. I have way more food than I need and way more clothes and layers even from my bed than I need, but better safe than sorry. Okay, well, you can see I got the hammock up except for the tarp. I don't like this end flat being up as high as it is. If the wind blows, it'll be on me all night long. So I'm gonna go cut some sticks that I can bury like a dead man and pull the tarp down lower. There's a little bit of firewood. I don't plan on having an all-nighter. And then I've got that much I'll drag over and just break up. All right, so I have my freezer bag out today. I made a ramen with carrots and peas and dehydrated beef in it this time. So I just boiled up some water, threw it in the cozy, and in about 15 minutes I'll have lunch. All right, there's the finished product. Carrots, peas, it's a ramen. You can see the beef chunks in there. And then it's got sour cream powder and tomato powder, a little cayenne, and then the little salt packet that comes with the ramen. Pretty tasty, way more than I'll eat, so Cash will get a little hot meal for lunch. I added quite a bit of water, but it absorbed it all, so I'm gonna have to drink on top of this. But there's a good 2 cups of water anyway. All right, when I had all I could have, share it with the pooch. Cash likes his vegetables. He'll eat it. I am. Ooh. Gonna go grab my jacket, my hiking poles, and a pair of gloves, and we'll go for a walk. So somebody's ridden their snowmobile up through here, which is nice. I still have my snowshoes on, but not sinking at all. If I get off, it's pretty deep. There's definitely a moose hanging in the area. There's tracks of him all over the place. Haven't smelled or seen anything though. So if I'd come down just a little bit further, there's open water here. Which would have been nice. I only brought 1 liter of water. And I've used over half of it just on lunch. So I may have to end up melting some snow, but snowmobiles have come through here and broken through. And that guy got wet over here. And that guy straight ahead, he went through the water too. I'm gonna get off the road. Well, the road ends. I'm gonna walk up the river bottom here. Come on! So, that's what I get for making fun of the snowmobiler that fell in the river, because that's what I fell in. Luckily, just my snowshoes broke through, but I will definitely be taking a different route home. Cash is a little leery, and I don't blame him, but he'll make it. Come on! Come on! Come on, boy, you can do it! Come on! Come on! Come on, come on, come on! Oh, good boy, come on! Oh, good boy! That's what I looked like. This right here is me on my hands and knees climbing up this bank. Oh, good boy. So I'm starting to get in the area with a whole bunch of dead pine, which for the Uintas isn't really that big of a thing, or abnormal anyway. But I've been down here before, and this means I'm getting in the area with all the beaver ponds. So last year in January of 18, I had a shoulder surgery. It put me out of work for 6 months. And I got to the point I was going pretty stir crazy sitting in the house. So as soon as I was able, I started making short snowshoe treks. And I've made, or had made, 2 videos in 2017, but hadn't really started Clay on the Trail as a serious YouTube site. My first trip out was with my son, and we went where I go ski all the time. It's the East Fork of the Bear River. Oh, but pretty soon I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was hitting the trails pretty hard, and the road started to open up. And I'd go as far as I could drive and then just go for a walk. And this is really where Clay on the Trail started, is right in here. So it's kind of neat to me anyway to see it come full circle. A year later, still putting videos out, still having a good time, getting out at least once a week, weather permitting. Had a couple bad weeks recently where I got snowed in and I just couldn't get out. And I think I said this in one of my very first videos that was right in here. I normally wouldn't come here. This is a campground. There would be 1,000 people with RVs and generators and campers and whatnot. But minus that airplane, I'm the only soul around. And it's beautiful. Winter camping is the time to hit all the places you normally wouldn't go during the summer because they're too crowded. The woods are just as beautiful, but I do like some solitude. There's home for tonight. All right, I think I'm gonna dig a hole right here for my fire, but it's still a little early to get it going. If I do, it'll burn all my firewood before it gets dark. So we'll just hang out, watch it snow. So all the wood, because of the storm, is damp, even the dead stuff in the trees. But I used one cotton ball soaked in Vaseline on my striker and pile it on. It's going to smoke until it dries out. When this gets going pretty good, I'll put some of the bigger stuff on. I was going to wait till later on. I think it's only like 3:30 or so. But I'll keep gathering small stuff and keep it going till dark, and then I'll throw the big stuff on. That's a third cat that went by today in the last 15 minutes. The sun's trying to peek through finally. Haven't seen it all day long. Wind picked up a little bit. We haven't had all day long. Hasn't really stopped snowing. Just intermittent here and there, but it hasn't amounted to much. It's warm. It's got to still be in the 30s. I don't think the low is supposed to be horrible tonight. It'll be upper 20s. Dinner time for Cash. Alright, so dinner tonight is just a hobo dinner, but I mixed some half ground pork with half ground beef, some seasonings, some potatoes, some carrots. And I brought some ketchup along in a baggie. Whew. Burned all the hair off my hand. So we'll let that cook for a little while. Hopefully get it ate before dark. Well, that looks like success. And this kind of what camping's all about. There's nothing like a fire. Alright, I know the video's horrible here. Oh, that might help. I do have a pair of down booties. It's something I didn't show in my last video. I've put just a closed cell foam pad down for my dog to sleep on. He also has another one behind me to sleep on, but I've changed my socks, so I have dry socks. I've hung my coat on my ridge line and my boots on my ridge line, and actually zipped my soft shell up around my feet. Now I gotta see if I can get in bed. All right, well, I got in. This is like a ridiculous cocoon. I think it's way too warm for the setup I have. I'm already not hot, but for sure not cold. Turn my camera off so I have battery in the morning. We'll see you in the morning. What a greeting for morning, huh? Well, that's the warmest I've ever slept. Winter camping, for sure. In a hammock. The one time I stuck 3 boiling Nalgene bottles in my bag and had to take them out because I was sweating, but that was a whole nother story. So the one thing with this area underquilt that I have with the zipper, when you zip it up, you lose a lot of the ability to move around a whole bunch. It kind of holds you in place, and putting the bivy sack over top of it. I'm a side sleeper, and I was able to move from side to side, but there was a couple times during the night I just needed to stretch out. And I was able to do it all, but not near as free as I would without it all zipped up and cinched up. But absolutely warm. And I think it snowed 90% of the night. I don't think it abounded to anything. But I made it. I'll get up and have some breakfast and see if my sled will start. So one thing I did want to touch on before I move on. The bivy sack I put on over top of my sleeping bag, it really held in the heat, especially on my feet end. It didn't let any of the breeze through. And I was absolutely warm, like I said. As I peeled it back, the underside of it actually was a little damp. I didn't notice it. It wasn't anything noticeable, and it's already dry, just pulling it back. But the top end, any part of it that touched me, absolutely perfect. And I did keep the zipper zipped up over my head most of the night. I kind of sunk down in the bottom part in the fetal position and side slept, like I said, most of the night. Didn't even notice any condensation or anything. So that worked out great. Well, as soon as I left, got my sled loaded and got in my truck, like just this wall of snow hit us. It was pretty incredible. Got out just in time. So had a great time. Didn't ever really get cold. Had a nice fire to hang out by. I stayed in my hammock. Oh, I went to bed about 8:30 and I got up for about 7. So, but you just don't sleep awesome. Toss and turn all night long, so got quite a bit of sleep in a long period of time. Anyway. All right, guys, had a great time. Really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please give me a thumbs up if you think it was worth watching. Share, and thanks again.